fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, 2-run shot to right.
And we welcome you here from Washington Township and Cherokee as we've got a good matchup here this afternoon in the first round of South Jersey Group 4 action between the Minutemen and the Cherokee Chiefs. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Damian Waiters this afternoon. Well, first of all, I think one of the pressing things that will be discussed today is, as we try to fix a video kebab there, I don't know what happened. May have to go to a quick break real quick. Had an issue with our video camera. We'll be right back. Okay, there we go. We are rocking back in here for the first round of South Jersey Group 1 playoffs, Group 4 playoffs. I don't know why this box appears around my head. We're trying to figure it out. We've been trying to fix that for the past week or so. But, you know, we'll keep it short because I understand that a white box around my head does look a little bit funky. But Washington Township's coming into this game after last year being the benefactor of a 16 seed doing well. They made it all the way to the South Jersey Group 4 semifinals after Rancocas Valley, which was the 1 seed last year, lost to ACIT, a game where RV committed 10 errors and lost. Well, Washington Township, being the 9 seed, made it all the way to the semifinals because of that. And then they beat the 16 seed ACIT to advance to round number 3. But today the tables have been turned. Washington Township and Cherokee are not like Millville and Howell. They're certainly not like Toms River North and Kingsway. These are familiar opponents. They've already met once this year in April, and Cherokee won that game 11-3. And in fact, they met 3 times in 2022, including in the first round of South Jersey Group 4 playoffs. But today, the tides are a little bit different, and certainly the stakes are a little bit different. We're going to go over starting lineups and first pitch in just a moment, as we've got a 1 versus a 16. But it's probably the best of them all. It's probably the best 1 versus 16 game we've got. Audubon Paulsboro shouldn't be too much. Haddonfield Oakcrest could cause some fireworks, and then 1 versus 16 in Group 3. Can't even remember. I think it's Mainland and Deptford. But this seems like the most fleshed out of them all. And we'll be back in just a moment. Returning to you live here from Marlton at the host of Cherokee High School. Cherokee is no stranger to success. They're 21-3 this season. As we mentioned, they're 9-1 in the Olympic American, one of the toughest conferences in South Jersey. Meanwhile, Washington Township, they've had better days, but those better days can start now. They're 8-15 after going 15-15 last year with a 1-9 record this season in the Tri-County Royal. Another bunch of South Jersey's toughest talent. You've got Gloucester Catholic, Clearview, Kingsway, and even GCIT has had some positive success this season. So for a team like Washington Township, they remember what they did accomplish last year. They beat St. Augustine as a bottom 3 seed in the Diamond Classic. And now, as a bottom seed in South Jersey Group 4, they look to come into Burlington County and upset the Cherokee Chiefs. Standing in their way right now, though, is Henry Radbill. We've seen Henry Radbill before, and honestly, I don't think it'll be the last time we see him either. He's a Rutgers commit who struck out 16 batters, a DWB record, in his last start versus Eastern. It was incredible. And in 3 varsity seasons, he's got an ERA under 2 in all 3. But for Radbill this season, again, a Rutgers commit who is full of a incredibly deep pitching staff for Cherokee. Again, a team that's 21-3. When we saw them versus Eastern, it was maybe one of the tightest games yet, where he and Birdie combined to strike out 22 batters, but an RBI single in the top of the 10th inning gave Eastern the win on that day, 2-1. He's got a 1.17 ERA, 66 Ks, and 13 strikeouts for the longtime head coach for Cherokee, Mark Petrignani. Let's flip it over to Washington Township. Let's take a look what their starting lineups got in store, presented by Harper Driving School. It's Giovanni Cristinizzo in the second base spot leading off. Hayden Sowers is the shortstop in the 2 slot. Peyton Andre, our first selection on the Future Stars watch list for his contributions during the sophomore season. He catches and bats third. He'll be joined by a junior, Luke McKenty, who's got a 1.47 ERA himself. This could very well be a pitcher's duel tonight. Dom DeNoble is in right field batting 5th. Jake de Blasio at 1st. Andrew Robinson at 3rd. Josh Lynch in center field. And Cole Nacarelli in left. All right, we're ready to go here from Cherokee High School. We were here on May 19th, and just about a week and a day later, we returned to the same spot where Henry Radbill struck out 16 batters, even in a 2-1 loss to Eastern. The first round of the South Jersey Group 4 playoffs is ready to commence on this cloudy Tuesday afternoon. The first pitch is a foul back, and we're underway. Good fastball there from Radbill to start the at-bat. I like the fact that he's just going out 110% right away versus Cristinizzo, the junior. Wall inside, 1-1. Cristinizzo batting .418 in his junior season, a career .377 average, 5 extra base hits, 28 for 67 for Cristinizzo. That one is outside, 2-1. Township's dugout talking it up. Like I said, out of the 4 1v16 games in South Jersey public playoffs this year, this is easily the best of them. And these are teams that have a history. And in the playoffs, anything can happen. It's a 3-1 count to Cristinizzo. All fastballs in this at-bat versus Cristinizzo. Radbill ready to go. With a 3-1 count, gets back in it with a strike. It's 3-2. As we said, Radbill with 66 Ks. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled back, and it stays alive. Three balls, 2 strikes. A long at-bat with Cristinizzo to start, with Hayden Sowers, the shortstop, next. Full count. That's a line drive foul, and the at-bat's going to stay alive for pitch number 9. Radbill, one of several high-level commits on this Cherokee squad. Brett Chiesa at third base, headed to Rowan. Brett Gable, who's in center field today, is a commit to Harvard, among others. The Township dugout clapping it up, and the 3-2 is ball 4. And a 9-pitch at-bat ends in a free pass for Kristen Zio. And that's just his 14th walk allowed this season, as Washington Township shows very good patience in that first at-bat. A bunt up the first base line. Could be trouble for Radbill. Spins and fires. It's a successful sack. That'll be a 1-3 sack bunt, and Sowers does his job and turns it up for Peyton Andre. We talked about Peyton Andre a couple weeks ago, or at least posted about him on our DWB Future Stars watch list, showing up some great talent in the freshman and sophomore classes. Andre, a 5'10 sophomore, batting .431, 2 homers, 22 for 51, 15 RBIs, and a .686 slugger. First pitch from Radbill is inside. I think that was maybe the first time just off of our angle that he deviated from the fastball, mostly because of a 9-pitch at-bat with Cristinzio, and then Sowers wasted no time on a sac bunt. Strike called right down the plate that time, no question about it. Up and away, 2-1. Andre still trying to find his way. Two balls, 1 strike. Radbill delivers. Swing and a miss. Big hack by Andre. And it's 2-2. Radbill with a walk allowed. And a sacrifice hit off the bat of Hayden Sowers. That's outside. Washington Township's dugout again staying amped up as they've got a runner in scoring position with 1 away in the top half of the opening frame. Outside again. Andre, second walk. And now it will be number 34, Luke McKenty. I mean, hey, this is a real turning point early in this game. One pitch can end the inning on a double play. Meanwhile, another pitch can either give Washington Township the lead or at least give them a closer shot at getting there. Pitcher and catcher, Kelleher and Radbill talking it over. I mean, this is the best situation right here for Washington Township, as they are, trying to get in their heads early and try to find any kind of motif to pivot off of. Because you don't want to be that team that lays down and dies. You want to be that team that comes in with the energy, comes in with the jive, and gets it going. First pitch at the knees, misses low. Big swing and a miss, fastball to letters. And it's 1-1. Radbill set again, looks back at Kristen Zio at second base. That one skips away. It's a short backstop here, but it doesn't matter. They're going to say that it hit him, and the bases are loaded. So McKenty, the pitcher, gets hit, and despite not having any hits, the Minutemen now trot into the 5 slot in the order. Dom DeNoble with the bases loaded. They will have a courtesy runner at first for McKenty. Namely, that is number 12, Reed Miller. Listen to this dugout, man. It's loud, even through my headset. Got a strike that time. The number 5 hitter, DeNoble. And it's 0-1. They say outside. They're going to appeal down to second. They say no. That was tough there. DeNoble 8 for 20, 400 hitter. And that time is a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. DeNoble with a 2-hit performance versus Delsey in a loss on April 30th, his only multi-hit game of the season. As we said, 8 for 20. Only appeared in 3 games in the month of April. The rest have been from May 5th onward after GCIT. 1-2 is a strike on the inside corner. DeNoble goes down on strikes, and
Hey, not done yet, not done yet.
this looked like a bleak situation, but Henry Radbill will now have a lefty-lefty matchup versus de Blasio in the 6th spot.
Be there for each other in field.
DeNoble struck out looking. And here's the pitch. Outside. De Blasio, the first baseman this afternoon. First three for Cherokee in the bottom of the first will be the pitcher Radbill, the Rowan commit Brett Chiesa, and the sophomore slugger Alex O'Dude. He's a dude indeed. Here's the 1-0. That is outside.
Kev, is that out? Kev, is that out?
2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Got a strike that time on the fastball. 2-1 is the count. I think what's going to be important here for de Blasio is he cannot chase anything. He's a freshman. That one is fouled back. It looked good, but de Blasio, again, being a 6'1" freshman, he's got a big build, but sometimes freshmen can, especially in this situation where he's only got 11 career at-bats, can be prone to making more mistakes. Bases loaded. 2 outs and a swing and a miss. What a pitch for Henry Radbill. He walks the bases loaded but gets out of it, and the inning is over. He strikes out DeNoble and de Blasio back-to-back to retire the side, and now Radbill gets to beat his own drum on the offensive side. He leads us off scoreless after a half frame here in Cherokee. Henry Radbell leads us off in the bottom of the first. He faces Luke McKenty. 1.46 ERA for the junior right-hander. His biggest problem is that he has walked 28 batters, including a handful in multiple starts this season, but he has struck out 51. Umpire calls time. They said the first base coach had to wear a helmet, so that's the first time I've seen a game stopped for that, but it's a valid reason too. Now Radbill leads us off for Cherokee in the bottom of the first. What a spot. What a spot for Cherokee in the top half of the first. And the first pitch. Curveball high. Radbill walked the bases loaded, gave up 2 walks and a hit by pitch, but got out of it with back-to-back Ks to DeNoble and de Blasio. 1-0 from McKenty. Good hum on the fastball, and it's 1-1. Radbill again committed to Rutgers. Last time we saw them versus Eastern on May 19th, we also saw Radbill in the leadoff spot. Had a base hit. Bloops this one. He got jammed, but this is in shallow left. Has a chance, and it will be caught in left field for the first out of the bottom of the first. Chiesa's the batter. Let's take a look at the Cherokee starting lineup presented by Harper Driving School. You just saw Henry Radbill. How about Brett Chiesa, the Rowan commit at third base? Alex O'Dude is a slugging sophomore. He is in left field today. In the cleanup spot, Jason Brown at short, Brett Jackson at second, Mason Kelleher is the catcher, Nate Linden at first, Brett Gable in center, and Steve Barbagiovanni in right field. I like the curveball from McKenty. I think that one of these Cherokee hitters has the potential to give one a ride, but we'll have to see where he locates it. I think that depending on where McKenty locates that curveball, it could be really good, or it could end up being a little bit of a bumpy road. We're going to have to see where he ends up going with that, as Chiesa called time in the box to talk to Mark Petrignani, Cherokee head coach. Fastball misses in. Another curveball misses that time. So right now 2-1, but I think that Chiesa could definitely cause some trouble depending on what he does with this next pitch. Again, Alex O'Dude, lefty sophomore, is on deck. Here's the 2-1. That one's high. Yeah, if McKenty can keep his control and his composure tonight, this game could be a lot closer than the last 2 regular season meetings between these two. They met in April of this season. 11-3 was the final in favor of Cherokee. And then last season in 2020, or check that, in 2023, this one's popped up over our heads. Cherokee won a regular season matchup 15-5. But then they also met in the first round of the playoffs back in 2022. It was a 7-5 final in favor of Cherokee, but it was not the 1v16 game, it was the 6v11 game. As McKenty dials in, he's got a full count versus the third baseman, Chiesa. Seen him play hero before. The 3-2, waits on a curveball, grounds it to second. Andry bobbles it, but he'll have time to rebound. And de Blasio recovers. There's 2 outs. I was just corrected there. O'Dude is a junior. I apologize. Yeah, I like McKenty's pitch selection here. You know, It's almost like a menu at a nice restaurant. There's not too many options, but they all work out well. He's got a fastball, he's got a curveball, and he's got a little bit of a changeup, but you know, he's not that kind of person that's going to have 4 or 5 pitches in his repertoire because he's just a simpler guy. He's a simpler pitcher, and sometimes for a program like Washington Township, you kind of need that guy. He's, again, going into this matchup, 1.47 ERA. He had 28 walks, but it was a game versus, I think it was Deptford in Tri-County Liberty action where he had 11 Ks, but then he also had 5 walks. So there is something about that balance that really he has to walk a tight line to keep himself in check today, especially as a 16 seed. Hit off his foot. Umpire called it right away, and it's 0-2. Cherokee has won all 5 of the last 5 matchups between these two. They met 3 times in 2022. 14-4 on April 18th of that season, 8-1 a week later, and then June 1st of 2022, they met in the first round of the playoffs. And again, the final score of that game was 7-5 in the 6v11 game. Way up, 1-2. Cherokee is a team this season batting .328. They've left the yard 13 times, a .456 slugging percentage. And they've driven in 169 runs en route to a very, very good 21-3 regular season slate. That ball's hit well out towards center field. That's going to drop for a base hit, and Alex O'Dude will get the first hit from either side in today's contest. Sets it up for Jason Brown, the shortstop. I like that piece of hitting there by O'Dude. He saw that curveball. I think that the Cherokee hitters are really starting to see that curveball early. You saw during Chiesa's at-bat, he waited on it, hit it the other way, got a little bit on top of it, but the curveball had enough hang time to where Chiesa was allowed to hesitate in the middle of a swing. And he did, but he made contact and tapped it out to second base, and Andrew had trouble with it, but eventually made the out.
I'm Jay. I'm Jay. A2.
First pitch from McKenty to Jason Brown. Big swing and a miss. Brown, 273 hitter as a senior, 21 for 77. 4 extra base hits. He's a 243 career hitter, mostly brought down by a 3 for 31 season as a sophomore, but he rebounded with a 276 mark last year and a 273 mark in his Swan Song campaign. McKenty throws back to first, not in time. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be diving into the private bracket of South Jersey non-public A between the St. John Vianney Lancers and the PVI Eagles. First pitch at 3:45 tomorrow. Jake Clark will be on the call for that one. I'll take a back seat. And then our playoff match on Thursday is to be determined at this time, depending on the results of today's games. Another curveball misses the letters. I mean, McKenty's got a good enough fastball. I think he should ride into that more. But I can't help but think that that curveball Cherokee is just waiting to pounce on. Because if you eliminate one of his pitches, it turns into a one-trick pony real quick. He does shake off his catcher, Peyton Andry. So I'm sorry, I misspoke. Second baseman today is Giovanni Cristanzio, as we mentioned earlier. In the leadoff spot, drew a 9-pitch walk against Radbill. Township will bat 7, 8, and 9 in the top of the second inning with Andrew Robinson, Lynch, Cole Nacarelli. McKenty set. Takes a while, and now the 1-1 is hit out towards left field. It's up there, going back straight away, and he'll make the catch. Side retired. Luke McKenty allows a base hit, but nothing more. Cherokee looks to get a little bit of a smoother second inning after a scoreless, but certainly a tumultuous first inning for Henry Radbill. We'll be right back. No score in the 16v1 game in Marlton.
Hayes donning the number 34 and the shortstop for this one. First pitch. There's a line drive into center field. That one is going to drop it. It's going to go to the outfield wall. 1 run will score. Spence is going to make a huge arc around third. She will score to make it 3-0. And here comes the runner to score. It's an inside the park home run for Ella Hayes to make it a 4-0 game, a 3-run inside the Parker to the 2. BB and Copsetta trading a couple looks. They know what's going on. Full count, bases loaded, 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic 26th annual. They are back on top.
Starting off the party in the top of the second, time was called as the trainer cart was left on the field for a little extra time. That one's high. To start off the second, Andrew Robinson. We followed by Josh Lynch, the sophomore, and Cole Nacarelli, a senior, in the 9th slot. Fouled straight back, just off the bottom for Robinson that time. Robinson, a sophomore, .274 hitter this season. 17 hits, 16 of them singles. Left-hander delivers. Poked it foul down the right field line. Again, Cherokee 21-3. There were several South Jersey public teams that had a very long undefeated run. It was kind of a race to see who would be the last one. They started off the season 20-0 before taking their first loss to Haddonfield in the Diamond Classic semifinals. They then lost to Eastern on the 19th, which was the game that we covered in 10 innings, and then they beat RV 11-2, closed out their season with a Del Rand loss 4-2. However, that game was after the cutoff, so it didn't affect them in terms of power points. And even if it was before the cutoff, really no way it would have brought Cherokee below the 1 seed. I don't think there was any universe where that game, mattering or not, would have made too much of a difference. 0-2 is high. Oh, no, never mind. It's 3-2. Guy on the scoreboard wasn't doing his job. Full count to Robinson, the sophomore. That one is outside. Man, Radbill struggling with that fastball. 3 walks. The playoff atmosphere can be jittery for some, but we have seen that he can overcome those jitters. He walked 2 in the first and then struck out DeNoble and de Blasio back-to-back to get out of the jam without issue. Here's the pitch. At the letters. As we said, the 1 seed in last year's South Jersey Group 4 bracket ended up fumbling their way to a loss. That one's at the knees, and it is called a strike, 1-1. I can't help but think about that RV and ACIT game from last year. Game ended 12-6 in favor of the Red Hawks. RV right now is playing GCIT in the first round, and now Petrignani's coming out. Umpire saw him right away, and they're going to talk it over. I'm very surprised. I mean, this just seems like night and day. Radbill, again, a Division I commit. When we saw him versus Eastern, he struck out 16 in one of the best performances that we've seen in a long time, but an 8-15 Washington Township team has certainly come to play, and he's got a 3-1 count to start this at-bat. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. Here we go. 3-1 count. Radbill to Lynch, the sophomore. Wow, look out. That almost took off somebody's head in the dugout that time. Ricocheted off the fence and went up to the first baseman. Radbill set, 3-2. Oh, called on the inside corner. It's strike 3 to Lynch. It's Radbill's third strikeout, and now it's another lefty in Cole Nacarali.
Wheels at both spots. Get it out. Wheels at both spots.
Showing bunt, pulls back, and it's a called strike. Barely made contact, and it's 0-2. By the way, a new feature on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting for the playoffs. Instead of us rambling out-of-town scores to you, how about they appear on the bottom of your screen? We've got the first out-of-town scoreboard working for this game, bringing you live updates from all around South Jersey in today's first round of the playoffs. That one's foul. More notably, the 15v2 game in South Jersey Group 4. Eastern leads Williamstown 2-0 in the bottom of the first. Count is 0-2. Here's the pitch. There's another one on the outside corner. Nacarelli goes down on strikes. Radbill has now struck out 4, and now it's Cristinzio, the second baseman. Washington Township has just been, it's been so odd. Seem like they've got a little bit of life, but they have no hits on the board. That one's a ground ball to third. Chiesa fakes, and the throw to first is in time to end the inning. So Cherokee's got the pitching, but what can they do on the offensive side? Radbill strikes out 2 more. He's got 4 on the day. Washington Township held a hitless despite their third walk. We'll be right back. Strike called to Brett Jackson to start the at-bat in the bottom of the second inning. 5, 6, and 7 due up as a big swing by Jackson. Brett Jackson, Mason Kelleher, and the first baseman, Linden, to bat here in the bottom of the first.
On BJ 2-6. On 2-6. Hey, Brett.
0-2. Jackson gives it a ride out to left field, hooking down the line. It is caught and left. Cole Nacarelli has made some good plays out there today. He's now got 3 putouts, and Kelleher will be the batter. Cherokee with 1 hit, and Alex O'Dude single. There you go. Sorry about that, folks. That one skips in. It's 2-1. Again, McKenty with a rather clean first inning for what it's worth in a 16v1 game. Here's the 2-1. Pops it up, first base side. De Blasio going over, and it's well out of play. 2-2. This is the first time that we've covered Washington Township baseball since April 30th, 2022, when they appeared versus Audubon in the Thank You Classic. Jason Stocklin, a freshman, threw a no-hitter in that game. It was a 10-0 5-inning shutout. Here's the 3-0, or 3-2 rather. They're gonna say yes. The throw to first is in time. Kelleher strikes out. So Linden will be the batter after Kelleher's strikeout. It was first of the day for McKenty. Now Linden manning the first base spot for Cherokee. That one is down. I think one of the biggest things here for Linden, and especially for Cherokee in general, is they have to figure out how to hit McKenty, and especially that curveball. Because you'd think in a theoretical 1v16 game, you don't know how hard or easy it would be, but I think Cherokee, oh, they're going to say that hit him. Looks like it got him on the wrist. Now Gable will be the batter. He's committed as a pitcher to Harvard. Most notable pitcher I can think of out of Harvard is Brett Suter. And of course in the football world, Ryan Fitzpatrick, but a lot of good things to love about the Harvard baseball program. The Ivy League was really good this year. Saw a great matchup with Columbia winning the title and getting the dance in Omaha, or at least on the road to Omaha, 1-0. Linden, 5'11", 195, is a senior. 315 hitter, 13 RBIs, 4 extra base hits, and 9 walks, 23 for 73. That's a line drive. Out to second. Cristinizo flips it, and the inning is over. We are scoreless through 2 here in the 1v16 game of South Jersey Group 4. Plenty of talented action going on around South Jersey. We're keeping you updated on all of it, including this one, through 2, no score.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Top of the third, Washington Township and Cherokee tied up 0-0. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. You can visit today 7 days a week at 226 South White Horse Pike in Audubon. Two 2-0 is a swing and a miss. As Washington Township with 4 strikeouts versus Radbill, it's 2, 3, and 4. Sowers, Andre, and McKenty. Top of the third, and a 3-1 count is a swing and a miss. Tried digging at the dirt there, and this time the count is full. Sowers, after a Cristinizo walk in the first, gave himself up with a sacrifice bunt. Peyton Andre, the sophomore, walked in his first at-bat, and there's a swing and a miss. That's 5 for Radbill. He's up over 70 now in his senior campaign, the commit to Rutgers. And the 2-hitter Sowers is down on strikes. Like we said, our playoff plans for Thursday, we don't know yet. It's going to be determined by, well, kind of we were looking at it, and the best way that you can plan ahead is by looking at the theoretical matchups. If Team A wins and then Team C wins in the first round, you know, like on the other side of the bracket, you know, like Pennsville's a place where we might be looking at for Thursday because they're playing Haddon Township and Woodstown in the 11-6 game. That game, by the way, 2-0 Woodstown in the 6th. But usually when we plan for playoffs, I don't like to do the same group in back-to-back rounds unless it's, you know, a different kind of obligation. It'll be a half dozen for Radbill. He strikes him out. And now it seems like Radbill is finally getting back into that groove, facing the pitcher McKenty as Andre strikes out swinging. McKenty was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance in the first. Swing and a miss. Big hack that time. And it's 0-1. As we said, McKenty, the pitcher in today's contest, right-hander, came in with a 1.47 ERA, fouls it back at its 0-2. First 3 for Cherokee in the bottom of the third will be Barba Giovanni, Radbill, and Chiesa. 9-1-2. Got some media here today taking some flicks of the game as the 0-2. McKenty is foul down the right field line. And towards the Marlton Parkway. Two experienced head coaches, Bob Kelly and Mark Petrignani. Kelly taking over for the longtime Bill Alvaro Sr. in 2019. And there's a swing and a miss. Side retired. Radbill has struck out the side and threw 3 despite a big hurdle in the first. He's got 7. And he still has allowed no hits on the board for the Minutemen. Go to the bottom of the third. No score here in Marlton. All right, sorry about that, folks. Welcome back. Barbara Giovanni has a 2-1 count. All right, we do have to figure out a bit of a camera issue here. We apologize as we are going to try and navigate. There we go. Just going to have to work with what we've got.
Hey, win it now, let's go. Win it, let's go. Hey, now, Barbo, I'm good. Let's go, boy. Up, boy, let's go.
3 balls, 2 strikes. As the Cherokee dugout chants, Barbo. Ball 4. So after Township struck out all 3 in a row in the top half of the third, McKenty gives up a leadoff walk to Barba Giovanni. Again, the right fielder now bringing it back to Henry Radbill, the pitcher. He's been pretty darn good on the mound. No hits, 7 Ks through 3. Now Cherokee's dugout getting that energy back up. They had 1 hit, a base hit with 2 outs in the first by Alex O'Dude.
Let's go, Henry. Let's go,
And here we go. McKenty nods. 1-0. Curveball takes it for a strike. 1-1. Yeah, I'm curious if in that second rotation of the order that they're going to figure out that curveball a little bit quicker, because it just seems like it doesn't have too much dive to it. It loops in there, but they're going to throw back to first, not in time. Here's the 1-1. Outside, Andre pump faked back to first. There's a strike.
Come on, Nate. Hey, we got a battle.
Two.
Come on, Henry. Hey, let's go, Wade. Come on, Ed. Let's go, Wade.
That one is outside, 3-2.
Win it, let's go.
Radbill now with a full count here.
I'm out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's fouled back.
Let's go.
Radbill staying alive. Radbill goes down on strikes. Here's Chiesa. It's the second strikeout for McKenty. So McKenty gets the best of Radbill in a pitcher-on-pitcher battle at the top of the card. And now here in the bottom of the third, we've got a good matchup. First of all, we'd like to thank everybody who voted in the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting fan vote poll. We had over 1,800 votes between the 2 rounds of voting between this weekend and, of course, on Instagram and X. Runner goes. Andre unable to get the throw down and sliding in without issue with Barba Giovanni. McKenty looks back. He's got a runner in scoring position. That one is up and in. For the rest of this week on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, tomorrow we're going to be up closer to home at PVI for the first round of the South Jersey non-public A bracket between St. John Vianney and PVI. Thursday is to be determined. Friday we'll be at Bishop Eustace for the quarterfinal round of non-public B action. Bishop Eustis, the 2 seed who received a first-round bye, will play the winner of the 7-10 play-in game, St. Rose versus St. Joe's Hamilton. On Saturday, May 31st, we travel down to Stockton for regular season play in the League for Clubs. FC Monmouth plays Atlantic City FC in their home opener. Atlantic City FC is 1-0-1 this season, down in Kensington 7-1, and drawing 0-0 versus First State FC in their first matchup last week. They play at Stockton University May 31st, 3 p.m. Hope to see you there. There's the 2-1. That one is down, and it's a 3-1 count to Chiesa as McKenty is trying to work through the motions here. McKenty set, motions back to second.
Let's go, Brett.
The junior Alex O'Dude is next with 2 home runs in his own right this year. Chiesa also has the ability to leave the yard if he so chooses. Inside, it's ball 4. Second walk allowed this inning by McKenty.
Let's go, dude.
Now batting sophomore number 1, Alex O'Dude.
Oh, he is a sophomore, okay.
I'm a dude.
I got thrown off because the public address announcer said junior, and I'm like, well, I'm looking at this, and it's a sophomore. But yeah, he's a swinging sophomore. 4 home runs this year for O'Dude. 371 average, 22 walks, 19 RBIs, 23 for 62 this season.
Come on, dude. Let's go, Al.
McKenty dealing with 2 runners on. Only 1 hit has been recorded in this game, and it was O'Dude. That's hit out to left field. It's got some carry to it. Going back to the wall. It's gone! Alex O'Dude scrapes the fence in left field, and the swinging sophomore has recorded his 5th on the season. It's a 3-run jack to left, and Cherokee pours out of the dugout. 3-0 lead. He'll take his sweet time going to home, clanking helmets all around. Let's listen to this. Felt the ground shake for a second. Alex O'Dude, his 5th home run of the year. And Jason Brown will now bat as that ball just got over the head of Nacarelli in left field. It's a 3-run home run. Just wham, and he got it. Now here's Jason Brown looking to keep the success going for Cherokee.
Come on, Brownie.
Bring that Jay Brown up 2.
Up, Jay, hey, kid. Home, Jay, hey, 2.
Foul tip, 0-2 here to Jackson, rather to Brown. Brown ended the first inning in his first at-bat with a fly out to left. He's got 1 away, and McKenty looking to settle back in after giving up the 3-run home run to O'Dude. Almost hit the trainer card out in left center field. Got under it a little bit, but in a bit of a hitter-friendly park, made it work. High at the eyes, 1-2.
Up, Jay, hey, 2.
Here we go, Jay. Let's go, kid.
That one's fouled back. And it's 1-2.
Drink Gatorade.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Just saw a good throw. One of the equipment managers who was running the speakers found a needle and just threw a water bottle from his spot in the press box to the dugout. 1-2. Now Brown gives this one a ride in the left center field. This one's going over, and it's caught.
Now batting, junior number 26, Brett Jackson.
That one's in the dirt.
Oh, BJ.
There's a strike called.
On BJ, 826.
Big swing by Jackson,
826 on that, BJ.
and it's 1-2 count. A 3-run shot for Alex O'Dude in the bottom of the third. His 5th home run of the year for the sophomore. DeNoble, de Blasio, and Robinson, 5, 6, and 7, due up for Township in the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch. Inside, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 from McKenty. Curveball was just a little bit slow enough to where it got a piece of it. Jackson to be followed by the catcher, Kelleher. Kelleher with his knee pads on just in case he doesn't have to bat, as all catchers do. Here's the 2-2. He got one way high, hits it to left, but Nacarelli is there, and the inning is over. Alex O'Dude puts his stamp on this ball game with a 3-run home run to left. And through 3, Cherokee has broken the stalemate. They lead it 3-0. Top of the 4th inning here in South Jersey Group 4 first round action. It's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, the New York Yankees, one of the most storied franchises in Major League history, has not had a losing season since what year? A, 1991, B, 1995, C, 2007, or D, 1986? The answer will be revealed in the bottom of the 4th inning. DeNoble, de Blasio, and Robinson, 5, 6, and 7, due up for Washington Township against a Henry Radbill who has thrown 7 Ks. 1-1 is outside. As we said for our playoff fans, thank you very much for voting in this year's fan vote contest. Over 400 of you across the 2 rounds of voting wanted to see Washington Township versus Cherokee, and so far it's delivered. That one is down. Alex O'Dude with a 3-run home run to left. 3-1 is a strike, and it's a full count. There's a swing and a miss. Comes back from a 3-1 count to strike out the 5-hitter, DeNoble, who strikes out for the second time today, and now that's 8 for Radbill. I mean, it's unbelievable. We've seen this guy twice this year. He strikes out 16 in his first game, and now he's up to 8 through 3 1/3. Inside to the first baseman and freshman de Blasio. Strike is called, and it's 1-2. That's 9 as de Blasio goes down on strikes, 2 away. Now it's Andrew Robinson.
Let's go.
That one is grounded out to second base. Jackson is there, and a sidearm throw is in time. Henry Radbill strikes out 2 and has a clean half in the top half of the 4th. Petrignani and the Chiefs look to capitalize here after an Alex O'Dude home run in the bottom half of the 3rd. It's 3-0. Mason Kelleher leads us off of McKenty as they're even with a 3-0 lead. That ball's ripped left field. That's hit well, but Nacarelli is there. And Kelleher with a bullet out to left field for the first out. It'll now be Linden, as Linden will be followed by, the Harvard commit, Brett Gable. McKenty versus Linden. Fouled back. The offense of the day started with a 3-run home run by Alex O'Dude. Estimated distance on that ball, powered by Google Analytics, 361 feet. But McKenty and Radbill still rolling. Radbill ended the last inning with 73 pitches as the 0-2. Inside. Linden was hit by a pitch his first time. And again, next would be Brett Gable, the commit to Harvard. Anytime I talk about Brett Gable because he's going to Harvard, I feel like I have to speak a little bit more properly. I feel like I have to use more scholarly language. And the 1-2 is down in the dirt. But you think of what it takes to get an athletic scholarship to Harvard. It's not like one of those schools, it's not like an SEC school where as long as you can spell the name of the school, you've got a scholarship. Harvard is Harvard. Everybody knows Harvard. Everybody knows what Harvard is capable of. The standard in the United States for high-level, scholarly, and education that changes people and is used as a baseline for intelligence is Harvard. But we don't really think about Harvard for their athletics, just like we don't think about a lot of Ivy League schools for their athletics. It's a 3-2 count to Linden, again with the center fielder donning number 99, Brett Gable on deck. Rips that one on the curveball out to left center field. It is over the head of the center fielder. It'll get down. He misjudged it or whatnot. It's a double for Nate Linden, and now Gable will bat. That's Cherokee's third hit of the day. They've got one double, one homer, and one single. Pretty simple. But either way, Oh, 1. That's popped up to right. It's down the line for de Blasio. It is caught in right. A bullet down to third, comes in a little bit wide. Inside, 1-0. Count is 1-1 to Barba Giovanni with a runner on second after the double. Kind of golfs that one into left. Nacarelli is there. He's had so many plays out in left. Nacarelli has been getting peltered with fly balls today, but he has been trusted with all of them, and the inning is over. Cherokee gets a double, but nothing more. We're through 4. We'll be right back.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Bit of an oversight on our part. We forgot to finish DWB trivia time. It's the top of the 5th inning. Radbill's still working. Let's get the DWB trivia time train rolling. Today's question is, the New York Yankees, one of the most famous franchises in Major League Baseball history. Umpire just... Time was called behind the plate because the umpire asked a Cherokee player that was holding a radar gun to step out. I haven't seen that before, to be honest. But the question is, when was the last time the New York Yankees had a losing season? It's been a while. But the options are A, 1991, B, 1995, C, 2007, or D, 1986. That one is lined. That's Washington Township's first base hit of the day. Runs back up the middle off of Jackson's glove, a diving effort. And let's get that answer rolling. It is 1991. They went 76 and 86 during that season. And the year before, they had the worst record in baseball and actually ended up drafting Brian Taylor, a left-handed pitcher with the only #1 overall draft pick in Yankees history. Bunted back to the mound. Throw to first is in time. Does move the runner into scoring position, but that's exactly what Washington Township needed. They didn't need much, but a base hit by Lynch, Nacarelli with a bunt, and now you go back to the top of the order for Kristen Zio.
Your way, buddy.
It's the second sacrifice bunt by Washington Township, as the Minutemen still looking to get on the board for the first time in today's contest. Called a strike. 0-1. Big thing for these two, I think, going forward is going to be how can they attack Radbill. It's their third time facing him. Now that you're with Kristen Zio in the top of the order, I think that it'll be Washington Township's biggest test yet, because you don't know, with Radbill probably right around 80 pitches right now, you don't exactly know how much longer he's going to stay. You can judge a little bit by how much is going on in the bullpen. There's a pitcher stretching out there. I think that may be Cooper Birdie, but he's not throwing yet. So Washington Township's timetable is, yeah, we can wait and we can play the waiting game for Radbill to come out, but he could throw 9 pitches and be done with the game. Here's the 2-1. That's lined out into center field. It's a base hit for Kristen Zio. Bob Kelly puts up the stop sign at third, and I think that was a wise one because Gable's got a good arm in center. Washington Township has contributed their first base hits of the day. They've got runners on the corners with one away in the top of the 5th.
Talk delay.
Sowers, 1-0. And now a little bit of an infield coordination here, trying to get back on the right pace. One pitch could end the inning, though, with a double play. Cherokee's got a pretty sound infield with especially that middle infield tandem of Brown and Jackson. So Chiesa, Linden, Kelleher, and Radbill all break from their convention, and they will look to stay in contention here in the top of the fifth inning. They lead it 3-0. The only runs of the day were scored on a 3-run home run out to left center by Alex O'Dude. Really a shining star on this Cherokee team as a sophomore, 5 home runs and a 470-plus batting average. It's incredible. Throw back to first, not in time. Here's the 2-0. Up and in. Radbill steps off, looks back towards center field. Looking to regroup here in a trying time. He throws flat-footed to first base, and it's not in time. Lynch on third. Kristen Zio on first base. This one's a tight one. 3-0 is in and called a strike. 3-1. Radbill walked 2 batters in the first inning, got the bases loaded, but then left them right there on back-to-back Ks. Now the 3-1 is outside. For the second time today, Washington Township has the bases loaded. And now it's time for Peyton Andre. Again, a guy that we have highlighted earlier this season in our Future Stars watch list for his very impressive stat lines this year for the Minutemen. And now in the top of the fifth, in a 3-0 game, Andre with a huge swing and a miss. He's got 2 home runs this year. Swinging like he wants his third. Strike right down the pipe that time, just above the belt. And it's 0-2. There's still only 1 out in the inning. Nacarelli had the first out on a 1-3 sacrifice bunt, and after a 5-pitch walk, Radbill exhales, gets back into the rhythm. From the slide step is high. Tried to throw him off with the rhythm that time, went from the slide, and it's 1-2. Bases loaded. 1 away. Outside. 2-2. Next up would be the pitcher McKenty, and he'd certainly have a reason to help his own cause here in a 3-0 game in the fifth. With the chants from the Atlanta Braves, Florida State Seminoles, Kansas City Chiefs, the list goes on and on and on. All of them. They're chanting it in the dugout. Here's the 2-2 fouled back right over our heads. Good crowd on hand with the temporary bleachers behind the plate. At Cherokee, you get up close and personal. We're right on top of home plate. Not a lot of room to hide and a lot of chatter you can hear. Here's the 2-2. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Got the slider, and it's double digits. Peyton Andre goes down looking, and now Radbill has 10.
Hey, you're not done yet, right? Good hitter. Not done yet.
Andre strikes out for the second time today. Last chance in the fifth is McKenty. Oh, wavered a little bit on that fastball there. He's a little bit behind, and they didn't have the smoothest of swings either. Oh, 1. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, 1. Strike called on the inside corner. And it's 1-2. McKenty looks to step back in. It seems like he disagreed with the last one. And he'll step out here. McKenty, the pitcher in today's ball game, has done the heavy lifting for the Minutemen, holding this game to 3-0. But the base is loaded with 2 outs. Huge spot for the Minutemen. Washington talking it up in the dirt. 2-2. In this inning, Lynch led off with a single back up the middle for Township's first hit of the game. Nacarelli moved it over with a sacrifice bunt. Kristen Zale got a single. Sowers walked, and Andre struck out looking. Nowhere to hide. 2-2. Ground ball hit out towards short. It's booted. It's under the glove. 1 run scores. Here comes a second. He is safe. Minutemen right back in it. It's 3-2. 2 strikes, 2 outs, and an error at shortstop puts 2 runs on the board for the visitors. And the 16 seed has made this a 1-run game, 3-2.
Hey, shake it, let's go. Get us in with the lead.
Went under the glove of Jason Brown. As McKenty reaches base for the second time today, as the Minutemen umpires walking over to the dugout. They've got a courtesy runner for McKenty. Ryan Ballack, the freshman, is going to run, and now Bob Kelly is having a discussion with the umpire. Actually, they're going to call Ballack back to the dugout. We've got musical chairs, so it's not Ballack. It is number 12, Reed Miller, who ran, which makes more sense because he ran for McKenty earlier.
Let's go, make a play, let's go. We're all good.
A lot of times I don't question situations like that, but I mean, Ballack had made 0 base running appearances this season, so I think that might have been a clerical error there. 3-2 game. First pitch is a strike called to DeNoble. DeNoble, the 5-hitter for Township. 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging. There's a swing and a miss. Radbill fired up after the error at second by Jason Brown. Working fast. 0-2 at the letters, 1 and 2. First 3 for Cherokee in the bottom of the 5th will be Radbill, Chiesa, and O'Dude. Huge chance for Cherokee to make up some ground. It's outside. Really seems like he's overthrowing it here. I mean, he's got 10 Ks, but this start has been a little bit uncharacteristic for him. He has walked 4 batters, and there's a swing and a miss. It's 11 Ks for Radbill, but he gives up 2 runs. A 2-run error at shortstop puts the Minutemen back into it. Is that the boost that they needed, or will Cherokee have some more to say in the bottom of the 5th? It's 3-2. Well, Washington Township they haven't taken the lead, they haven't tied the game, but we're close here. It's 3-2 in a 16v1 game as a error at short contributes to 2 runs as McKenty faces his pitcher counterpart in Radbill, throws a changeup. Cherokee batted 4 in the bottom of the 4th, had a double by Nate Linden, but no runs. They have 3 hits on the day, a single by O'Dude in the first inning, a 3-run home run to left, and that's hit out towards right, straight away, and it's caught. Good play to recognize that one pretty quickly, and Radbill flies out to right. He's 0 for 3. I mean, one of the things that fascinates me about baseball season, obviously I've known the game for almost 10 years at this point, and I've been covering it with DWB for 4, but the biggest thing, took a little while to get the music off, but the music continues with a ground ball to short. Throw is in time, and there's 2 away. So a quick ground out on the first pitch for Chiesa brings up O'Dude. But one of the things that made me intrigued about this game was that Washington Township was the Cinderella last year. One of the bottom 3 seeds in the Diamond Classic. They beat St. Augustine something like 17-5. And then they had a deep, deep run in the Diamond Classic. Made it pretty far. Even for a team that only went 15-15 last year. This year they have less wins than that. They have the same number of losses. They come into this round of 16 game 8-15 with a 1-9 record in the Tri-County Royal. But the last season's South Jersey Group 4 1v16 game was just as unpredictable. And the playoffs, they do things to people. Saw a lot of coaches posting today exactly what I had said. Nothing before today mattered. Doesn't matter that Cherokee beat Washington Township 11-3 in April. Doesn't matter that they've beaten them in their 5 other matchups dating back to 2022. Doesn't matter that Washington Township is the 16 seed. Doesn't matter that Cherokee's the 1 seed. Doesn't even matter that Cherokee's 21-3 and had a 20 game win streak going into the Diamond Classic semifinals just 2 weekends ago. What matters is who wins at the end of the 7th inning, and who wins when the final whistle blows, when the final strike is called, when the final play is concluded. It's 2-1, or 3-1, check that, and it is a 2-out walk to O'Dude. He's been Cherokee's best guy. Single, 3-run home run, and a walk. Here's Brown. Brown hits it out towards left field. Going in Nacarelli, and he'll make the catch. A walk by O'Dude doesn't yield anything else, and Washington Township looking to shift some of the energy back their way in an unusual ball game, born from unusual circumstances. It's 3-2 through 5 here in Marlin.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Listen to Washington Township. We were just going to come back and talk about Cooper Birdie, but they threw us off our rocker. It's the same 1-2 tandem from last Monday versus Eastern as de Blasio fouls it back. It's 0-1. In Monday's game versus Eastern that we covered on the 19th, Birdie was the successor to Radbill. Radbill struck out 10 and gave up 2 runs, but none earned. Radbill, what a night for him. However, this is very situational here for Cherokee as they bring in the sophomore Birdie. There's a strike called. He's got 19 Ks for Birdie. Also the quarterback of the Cherokee football team, threw for just over 1,000 yards last season. That's a swing and a miss. They will say that that was not a dropped third strike. De Blasio's down on strikes. But Washington Township's got something to fight for now. They got those 2 runs thanks to the error, and now they're trying to shift that momentum right back into their wheelhouse. Birdie's first pitch to Robinson is down. Washington Township batted 7 in the top of the 5th inning and scored 2. As we said, it was 2 runs that scored on an error by the shortstop, Jason Brown. Thought it was maybe a routine grounder, but then he muffed it. And it's a 1-1 count. Birdie delivers. Foul tip from Robinson. He'll be followed by Josh Lynch, who led off the 5th with a base hit, the first of the game. But now Cherokee's 5 outs away from shutting this thing down. Here's the pitch. Popped up foul. Here's a 1-2. Curveball misses low. That ball's hit out towards left field. Going back, it is off the bottom of the wall. It was hard to tell by the see-through fence, but it's a double for Andrew Robinson. Rips that one into the gap in left field, got over the head. Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell where that ball landed because of the see-through fence here. Oh, wow, and a huge, huge upset in South Jersey Group 4. GCIT just beat Rancocas Valley 3-2. The 14 seed GCIT knocks out RV in the first round for the 2nd year in a row. RV lost to ACIT as the 1 seed last year. They now go down again as a 3 seed. How about that? GCIT, according to athletic director Mike McAleer, their first playoff win in 13 years, dating back to 2012. Wow. I am shocked by that number. Also a final from South Jersey Group 1, 6 seed Woodstown beat 11 seed Haddon Township. That's into center field. It's off the glove. He's got the green light around third. Here comes the throw. It is in time! In time! Throw from center field. He got him. Gable guns him down at home. Wow. Brett Gable throws out the runner. Robinson from center field. Throw looked pretty good, too. It does move Lynch to second. Wow.
Come on, Coop, get this one. Let's go. Let's go, Coop. 8-3.
I'm saying wow to several things right now. First of all, GCIT beating RV. Umpire stopped to make a substitution. So you just heard it there. Pinch hitting for Nacarelli will be the junior Stephen Davidson. Swing and a miss. 0-1. So Nacarelli will re-enter per substitution rules. However, this is just a pinch hitter spot for Davidson. He's down 0-2. Davidson hitting in the 9 spot. 6'2", 230 as a junior. 136 hitter, 3 for 22 on this 2025 campaign. Birdie is set. The sophomore kicks and delivers. It's in the dirt. Kelleher comes up with the skip pretty quickly.
Here we go, 3.
Time called by Davidson.
Ask him what he wants. Ask him what he wants.
And now Kelleher will go out to talk to Birdie. As we said, Birdie, a 3-sport athlete at Cherokee, which at a Group 1 school where I went to, like Audubon, with a graduating class of 120, a 3-sport athlete is pretty normal. But to be an excellent athlete at football, basketball, and baseball, and have the time to pursue all 3 at a school like Cherokee, it's great stuff. There's a ground ball out to third. It's picked up. Chiesa's got it. Throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. Township down to their last 3 outs, but they were so close to tying the game on a base hit by Josh Lynch, throwing out Andrew Robinson at the plate. Cherokee looks for their last insurance of the day. Let's see what they've got in the tank. 3-2. Brett Jackson, the batter, in the bottom of the 6th inning as Cherokee looks for some insurance runs here. They lead it 3-2, and Washington Township going with their tried and true, Luke McKenty. 3-2 game in the bottom of the 6th inning. The only Cherokee runs were scored on a 3-run shot to left center field by Alex O'Dude. It was his 5th home run of the season, to bring his batting average up over 470. That one misses. Some out-of-town scores from around South Jersey playoffs. In South Jersey Group 4 action, Eastern, the 2 seed, leads to 15 seed Williamstown 6-0 at the end of the 4th inning. Also South Jersey Group 4, Toms River East leads Timber Creek 4-0 after 2. Believe that's the, actually I think that's the 9-8 game, if I'm recalling correctly. I'll take a look at that real quick, but either way.
8-2-6, let's go,
2-1 count to Jackson. As Township failed to score. Got a couple of runners on, but it's 3-1 here. Jackson, Kelleher, and Linden, 5, 6, and 7. McKenty with a handful of walks, but just a few hits. If there's anybody that Washington Township wanted to hold down the fort, it's McKenty. Here's the 3-1. Fastball late, and it's foul. "64 teams competing for 4 sectional titles in South Jersey, all starting today. The private school brackets open up tomorrow. Like we said, weather permitting, will be at PVI versus St. John Vianney. That ball's ripped foul. Look out, Marlton Parkway. Still 3-2. So in the rest of this bracket, Millville is the 9 seed, Howell is the 8 seed. I don't have any update on Millville because they're not the home teams that are not live streaming the game. That ball's ripped. Right field off the bat of Jackson. It's up, it's back. It's gone! Brett Jackson with a home run to right center for some extra insurance. Laces it out to right center field, got a fastball up and didn't have any time to waste. Laces it out, it's 4-2. Nothing better. Jackson, home run. Okay, so Timber Creeks and Toms River East is in Group 3. But Toms River East winning that game. Cherry Hill West fell to Ocean City in the 9-8 game of Group 3. That was 6-3. West got 2 runs home in the 7th, but wasn't enough to win. Misses 2-0. McKenty still settling in. It's the second home run he's allowed. All of Cherokee's runs have come on home runs. More Group 3 updates in the 5-12 game. Absegami and Toms River South are tied 0-0 in the 5th inning. And looking at what else we've got here. 3-0 is inside. That's a free pass to Kelleher, the catcher, and he'll get aboard for Nate Linden. So back-to-back runners reach. Here comes Bob Kelly, and I think this marks the end of the day for Luke McKenty. And if it does, what a night it's been for him. A 16 seed. You have to do the best that you can. And if not for 2 home runs, Washington Township would be in the driver's seat. But McKenty might actually be staying in the game. Some of the Washington Township players are at the outskirts of the dugout. They're going to keep the junior right-hander in. They've got Bob Kelly's got the trust in him. A home run and a walk to Kelleher. Back-to-back have reached. As the Minutemen running into a little bit of trouble here in the 6th. Here's Linden. 1 on, nobody out. After a walk preceded by a home run by Brett Jackson. Throw back to first, not in time. That one is grounded out to right field. That's a base hit for Linden. Hanging on at second is Kelleher. And that will bring 2 runners on for Brett Gable. By the way, we have another upset in South Jersey Group 4. It's of a lesser degree, but Egg Harbor Township just knocked off Central 6-1 as the 10 seed. That one is bunted foul. And we do have a final from South Jersey Group 3. Toms River South walked off Absegami, 1-0. Big pitcher's duel there. So the 5 seed, the Toms River South Indians, with the former head coach Ken Frank, winningest head coach in New Jersey history with 973 wins. McKenty steps off. And we have a final from Group 2 in the 4-13 game. Sterling shut out Penn Tech 5-0. That one's a bunt. Lands back in front of McKenty. It looks good. He's got a slow release throw. It hits the runner, but the runner is safe. Here comes the throw. The runner scores. Throw back to third is not in time. And Cherokee gets another insurance run. As it is now 5-2, and now Bob Kelly comes out for his second meeting, marking the end of the line for Luke McKenty. I mean, hey, he did the best that he could as a 16 seed. So the junior will step out. It looks like actually Dom de Blasio, the first baseman, the freshman, is going to go to the dugout, and so will McKenty. So McKenty steps out, and so will we. 2 runs come across for Cherokee, one on a home run by Brett Jackson, and another on a base hit, or whatever you want to call what that play was, by Brett Gable. We're in the bottom of the 6th. We're going to have a pitching change, and see who's coming out here actually. Oh, okay, so McKenty's going out to the field. Maybe de Blasio's going to come in to pitch, maybe? I'm not sure. We'll be right back. New arm on the hill for Washington Township. It'll be number 12. I got thrown off there. It's Reed Miller. Strike called. Barba Giovanni, the batter, as he'll step out to check his, whatever you want to call that thing, thingamabob. Miller, 5'10" as a junior. Threw a first pitch strike there to the right fielder. Strike called on the outside corner. Cherokee leads at 5-2. Got runners on the corners, and Cherokee poised to make a big push here. He's got a 0.79 ERA in 17 2/3 innings, 21 walks, check that, 21 strikeouts, but 19 walks on the season. And that's one of those things that can be a real thorn for some of these pitchers, is that, you know, they can be fast, they can have some zip to their pitches, but they can't control it. Good example is versus Cherry Hill East back on May 10th. Miller struck out 9 across 5 innings, but walked 5 in a 4-1 loss to East. This is his 8th appearance of the year, and that one is down. Runner will break for second, and Andre will hold on to it. Now Cherokee in a bit of a better spot here, if they weren't already. They've got 2 runners in scoring position, a 1-2 count to Barbagiovanni, and nobody out. First 4 batters have all reached, and 3 hits for the Chiefs. 1-2. Barbagiovanni floats it out towards left field. Going in is Nacarelli, makes the catch. Runner does not tag, and probably with the 3-run lead, it's a good idea not to. Barbagiovanni turns the lineup card back over for the first out, back to Birdie, who hits for Radbill.
Now batting sophomore number 3, Cooper Birdie.
Let's go 3, hey Coop. Let's go 3. Oh, Coop, hey 3. 3.
In the dirt, almost at the plate that time to Birdie. As we said, Birdie, very well respected 3-sport athlete as a sophomore. He's the quarterback for the Cherokee football team, playing in the famous Cherokee Bowl, which I have not been to, but one of the more famous South Jersey football venues. And before you ask, the only reason why I haven't been there is that South Jersey Sports Zone covers Cherokee football home games, so that is not our territory. Speaking of football, though, our football schedule is almost complete. But we're not sure as to whether or not. We're right now just debating on logistics to figure out whether we want to run a football selection show. If we do, we'll let you know. If we don't, we'll still do a nice big reveal for our 29. It's actually going to be a DWB record. We're going to have 29 football games this season. All but every Friday is covered, every Saturday is covered, and everything but 2 Thursdays have a game. And then we've got 2 Thanksgiving games this year as well, one the night before and one the day of. So really pumped about what we've got. I can say that Washington Township has a game, but I cannot confirm when or who against. Unfortunately, though, we can't do any Cherokee football games because of their contract with South Jersey Sports Zone. They do it for, I think it's Cherokee, Lenape, and RV, and I think Eastern. 2-1. Birdie gives this one a ride, but it's way up to right field. Center fielder calls him off, gets a complicated basket, throw to the plate, will not nearly be in time. It's a sacrifice fly for the second out, and it is now 6-2. I mean, even if they get 1 or 2 more runs in this game, I don't think that it's going to be very reflective of how Washington Township has played today. I mean, they held their own, and for a little while, they were just that good. They got 2 runs home. They challenged Henry Radbill, and we're going to have a runner for Gable, which could mean he could come in to pitch the 7th. Either way, the runner is number 35, Cole Weinstein, the sophomore. Cherokee got the lead in the bottom of the 3rd on a 3-run home run by Alex O'Dude, his 5th of the year. Township got 2 runs back in the top of the 5th on an error at shortstop. At the knees, strike 1 to Chiesa, the commit to Rowan. Radbill's hitting line ended with 0 for 3. Birdie got a sacrifice fly to right. Chiesa 0 for 2. 2 ground outs and a hit by pitch, or check that, a walk in the 3rd inning. Alex O'Dude, I think, has to be a good candidate for player of the game. That one is popped up into shallow second base territory. Crescenzio comes down with it, and the inning is over. So Cherokee gets the insurance they all so dearly needed. They score 3 runs and bat 7. The inning started with a home run by Brett Jackson, and then back-to-back RBI singles brought home the second run, and then a sacrifice fly to right brought home the 3rd. However, this game is closer than many in the 1 versus 16 bracket. We'll be right back. Could be the last swings for Washington Township, and not just for tonight, for the season. Cooper Birdie. First pitch is down to Crescenzio, 1, 2, and 3. Crescenzio 1 for 2, but that one is down 2-0. There is a right-hander warming up in the pen for Cherokee. In the dirt. And it's now 3-0. The right-hander Josh Litsky is warming up in the pen. Birdie delivers. Strike down the pipe, 3-1. But this is what we love about the playoffs. We covered 35 regular season games. Well, every time we covered a regular season game, the team got up the next day, they practiced, they played another game. They did everything that the normal team does. As Crescenzio does pick up a walk, it's his 2nd of the day. Wonder if they're going to try to call for Litsky here. But Petrignani going to come out and talk to Birdie, the sophomore lefty. But here's the difference. Like we said, we've covered 35 regular season games this year. This is game number 36 at the high school level, game number 50 right about in terms of all games between high school, youth, JUCO, and college. This is the first game, and actually no, I lied. This is the first high school game to where the team that loses today, the seniors won't play another game of baseball until their college years. Everybody will have to turn their jerseys back in, turn their equipment back in, and focus towards the summer. But this is what makes the playoffs so bittersweet. Regular season is regular season. When we saw Eastern on Monday versus Cherokee, when we saw Cherokee on Monday versus Eastern won that game 2-1. Cherokee lost. But Cherokee came back and won another game versus Rancocas Valley. In the playoffs, there's no room for mistakes, there's no room for laziness, and there certainly is no room for little effort. Got to put in 110% every day, and That's what brings you to gold. So for Washington Township, not only could this be obviously the last 3 outs of the game, could be the last 3 outs of the season, depending on who you ask. The 8-9 game in South Jersey Group 4 is Howell and Millville. We don't have any updates on that game. If Millville was home, they'd have a live stream through Quinn Broadcasting, but because Millville is the 9 seed and Howell doesn't have pretty much any presence on social media, we don't know what's going on there. But that would be who Cherokee would face if they win today. Stays alive, 2-2. Litsky, the right-hander, warming up in the pen. 15 2/3 innings this year for him, 27 Ks and a 2.23 ERA. That one's low. It's 3-2. Well, for what it's worth, Township's got a little bit of life. It's a 3-2 count. Cherokee's had their problems with the free pass today. What can they do as a remedy? Here's the 3-2. It's low. Back to back. Birdie walked Kristen Zio and then got a mound visit his way. And now 2 in a row, bringing up Peyton Andre. I mean, this game has been very unpredictable. Don't know what's going to happen next. Township's dugout loving it. Looking to rattle the minds and hearts of Cherokee a little bit as an underdog. And now Kelleher and Birdie will talk it over. By the way, a final in the 116 game of South Jersey Group 1. Audubon mercy ruled Paulsboro 12-1. Also, Pittman beat Gateway in a 4-13 game 5-0. Birdie versus Peyton Andre, the sophomore, hitting over 400 on this season. Huge swing. And it's 0-1. As we said, the 6 versus 11 game in Group 1. Woodstown beat Haddon Township 1-0. Foul tip again, 0-2. Sterling beat Penn Tech 5-0. Really not much we can report on right now. Down the right field line, out of play. Oh, they called a dead ball. I didn't even move the camera because I thought that ball was going foul. But I saw the second base runner tag, which I assume means that Barba Giovanni caught it, but it was outside of the barrier, it was outside of the boundary. And because a lot of high school fields have temporary fences or no fences at all, in those ground rules, that's why those boundaries are set. There's a ground ball, flips, 4, 6, can't get the third. Moves the runner to third. It moves the runner to the corners as now McKenty will bat in the 4 slot on what's going to be a 4-6 fielder's choice. So 1 away now from McKenty. Hit by pitch. And he was at bat when 2 runs scored for Washington Township. Township's only runs today. An E6 by the shortstop Brown. First pitch. McKenty fouls it back, hits off the helmet of Kelleher, and it's 0-1. The 2 games we have reported on for South Jersey Group 4 have all been upsets. Again, GCIT over Rancocas Valley, and then Egg Harbor Township over Central Regional. Strike called. 0-2. So 1 foul tip, and then a swing and a miss to boot. 0-2. Up high. By the way, more Group 3 action. Delsea beat Highland 3-1 in the 3-14 game. One ball, two strikes. Throw back to first was a little bit high for Linden, but Linden was ready to pull off the bag in preparation for a steal and score. I don't know if they would do it down by 4 in the 7th inning, but there's a swing and a miss. Cherokee down to their last out, and Township looking to get it going. The batter is DeNoble. Kind of the signal there is don't worry about the runner on first, don't worry about the runner on whatever. Birdie's going to try to shut it down. 6-2 game here in the top of the 7th inning. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Cherokee's next game would be Thursday versus the winner of either Millville or Howell. We don't have an update on that game since it's not a Millville home game. There's a strike, it's 0-2. The 1 versus 16 game in last year's Group 4 bracket was all but normal. And this one looks to turn the tide. It does do so. Ball game. Cooper birdie strikes out back-to-back McKenty and DeNoble. And Washington Township season ends on a 6-2 final. They'll face the winner of Millville and Howell. But I'll tell you what, for a fan vote game, the fans picked a good one. 3-run home run by Alex O'Dude in the 3rd inning, followed up by Township getting right back into it in the 5th. They leave 2 runners on, and a strikeout looking to DeNoble ends the ball game. That's the final here tonight from Cherokee. We've got our post-game interview coming up with Alex O'Dude, your player of the game, presented by Harper Driving Score. Check that by DAWG Pro Wrestling, your dog of the game. Washington Township season will end at 8-16, but hey, a valiant effort by the 16 seed Minutemen. I think they'll be back for years to come. They've got a very good young core. Peyton Andry leading them over. Could be some very good years ahead for Bob Kelly and Washington Township. We'll be right back in just a moment with our post-game interview in just a couple minutes here. you never want to take it lightly. This was a big game for you, though. Went 2 for 2, had that 3-run home run in the bottom of the third inning. First of all, how'd you feel out there today?
Felt great. Sitting in school all day, just thinking about this game.
There we go.
Good?
Yeah.
Good.
The microphone's supposed to be toward your face, Alex.
Yeah,
no, but you're saying you felt good.
Yeah, I felt great. Coming into this game, had really high hopes. A lot of confidence from everyone on the team, and great all-around win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this was not easy. A 1 versus 16 game. Sometimes people that don't know the way, they think it's easy. But I look at last year's 1v16 game. RV lost to ACIT, and you guys proved that a 1 seed can still be good in Group 4, and held off a pretty good Washington Township team. First of all, bottom of the third inning, that 3-run shot out to left center field. You think that was going to go out at first? Because it looked like he got under it a little bit, and then it just kept going and going.
Yeah, not sure if I got all of it, but definitely got enough of it. And, it wasn't my longest to run, but it counts the same as all of them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this was an odd game. Radbill came in, struck out 11, but he did walk 4, and then Birdie came in and shut it down. You guys are going to be playing Millville or Howell on Thursday. It's going to be a very quick turnaround, and rain could be affecting it as well. With this playoff win, how do you feel about your team going forward and the confidence that you have in your teammates?
I feel great. Obviously, we have the best pitching in South Jersey, in my opinion. Our bats are just getting hot at the right time. And when it comes to playoffs, the team that gets hot is normally the one that wins.
And absolutely, you guys are setting the stage and setting the precedent for South Jersey Group 4, a 1v16 win over Washington Township. Alex, thank you very much. We're going to close with our little DWB tradition. We're going to have you sign the bottom of the scorecard. Just make it nice and big there on the bottom. As your player of the game, Alex Dude, with a bit of a scribble there, but the sophomore, maybe if we interview him in 2026 or 2027, it'll be a little bit different. Alex O'Dude, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and best of luck on Thursday.
Pleasure.
All right, that'll be all for us tonight. He's going to go join his teammates out on the mound, and that will be all for us tonight here on DWB. Weather permitting, we'll be at St. John Vianney versus PVI at PVI tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. That was very fun. Thank you very much, Peyton Andrew back there. As you can see, the Minutemen, I'll have to tell my township buddy about this. Shout out 34, by the way. But anyways, that'll be all for us tonight here on DWB. Again, next broadcast, St. John Vianney versus PVI. Then on Thursday, we're not sure where we're going to go. Friday, we're going to be at Bishop Eustis. And then Saturday, we've got the League for Clubs, FC Monmouth versus Atlantic City FC, 3 o'clock at Stockton University. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel and Caleb Lane, my producer, Damian Waiters, I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks, and stay dry, because that rain's not going to be any joke.